so much for joining us for the last episode in our New Spider Summer webinar series. I am Jason Onesto. I am the Assistant Director of New Student Programs here, and I'm joined by a plethora of guests who I will let introduce themselves here in just a moment. But for right now, I'm going to toss things over to my intern, Marianne.
Hi, y'all. My name is Marianne Packer. I'm the intern for the Office of New Student Programs. I'll be helping out with orientation here in a few weeks. Super excited to welcome y'all to campus. And I'm actually a UR alum. I just graduated this past May. Super excited to see you guys on campus soon.
We're so glad that Marianne could join us. Before we get into our content for today, just a few housekeeping items, really just one main one. If you look at the bottom of your screens, you'll see there is a little box with a question mark in the middle of it. That is our Q&A function that you can utilize to submit questions throughout our presentations or at the very end whenever we have some dedicated time to answer those questions that you may have. So as we're going through and you have things that you would like some more clarification on, or maybe some additional information for, feel free to utilize that function and we will make sure to get that question answered for you as soon as possible. Without further ado, I'm going to hand things over to our deans.
Okay, I guess I'll get started, or do you want to get started?
Please.
Fine, wonderful. Welcome, everybody. My name is Joe Bowman. I'm the Dean of Richmond College. I've been at the university for about 19 years now, and so I'm very excited to be meeting you all in just a couple of weeks. So the role of the college deans is that we're here to support your academic success and your personal growth throughout your time here. So we are your deans from the time you start in just a couple of weeks, all the way until you cross the stage at graduation. And we are kind of that one point of contact that can connect you to all the other points of contact. Our role is a little bit different than what you might see, some of your friends might see at other schools, where you have a dean of students that deals with things that are specifically outside of the classroom. Our role is both academic affairs, making sure that you're moving on towards graduation, that academically, if you have any concerns or whatever, we're there to help you. But we're also there to help you with those things that might be taking place outside of the classroom, because we know that they're interconnected. Things that might be affecting you outside the classroom are certainly going to affect your academics and vice versa. So I'll turn it over to Dean Giannone to kind of wrap up our little part of the dog and pony.
Hello, everybody. I am Mia Reynoso Giannone, also known as Dean G, which is much shorter and simpler with less vowels. And I am the Dean of West Hampton College. So to pick up on some of the things that Dean Bowman said, one of the what you'll find out is that unlike other schools, as he said, we're actually deans that you know, right? So, for instance, you may have friends who think like, oh my God, you met with the dean. I mean, and it is amazing. They are not wrong, but it's very normal here, right? So that we are there, we are here to help you. If you're struggling in anything, whether it's academics or personal, if you have a good idea that you want to share, if you have a concern you want to go over, and you'll find that you can come to us directly, right, and make an appointment with us. Your friends may say to you, oh my goodness, that sounds like you could use a little more help. Have you thought about going to a dean? And I've gone and seen Dean Bowman, and he's amazing, right? So you'll get that. Faculty and staff, if they're worried about you, they'll contact us and we'll reach out to you. And that's super normal. It's done out of care, right? It's not done out of being in trouble or anything like that. We are not principals. You don't go to us when you're in trouble in that sense. But faculty want to make sure that you're doing well. And if you're falling asleep in class, despite the fact that the class is obviously incredibly fascinating, then they're going to be worried about you, right? And you might need a little help. You'll also hear from us sometimes at the end of a semester. We're going to be keeping track of your academic progress. And if you're falling behind and we think you might need some support, you'll hear from us then. We also advise student government, WCGA, West Hampton College Government Association, and RCSGA, Richmond College Student Government Association. You've gotten a letter from us this week, so I know you all read it. It's very exciting. You'll also see that we host community events, right? Because we're in charge of taking care of you as individual students and also building and maintaining wonderful, welcoming communities, right? So you've seen that coming up soon, and after orientation is investiture and proclamation. We also each do small things that are community-based that reflect our personality. So for instance, I love Halloween. So we decorate the deanery for Halloween and you can come by trick-or-treating all day. I love it so much. And we have deanery dogs who will be there for an hour for petting and puppy love and that sort of thing. And Joe likes pop-up things, so he'll just
Yeah.
suddenly do a cup of Joe. You want to talk about cup of Joe?
Sure. It's really what we try to do is have opportunities for impromptu block parties. So we look for a really nice morning where the weather is nice, and we set up a table. We have some iced coffee and pastries, and we might have some giveaways from time to time. So for us, it's just an avenue for spreading a little bit of Richmond College love, and it's open to anybody who walks by, and it's just a chance to meet us. So we like doing those sorts of things. We also do both of our colleges do celebrations and awards that recognize folks that have really done phenomenal work and are building and living lives of purpose here on the campus. So that's a big part of what we do throughout the course of the academic year.
So the dean takeaway, college dean takeaway, we're here. We care about you. Come see us.
Right.
Amazing. Thank you both. We're going to now switch over to our friends from Residence Life and Housing.
Hi, my name is Taylor Walsh, and I'm the Director of Housing, and I'm joined today with my colleague, and I'll allow her to introduce herself.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joy Heinzman, and I serve as the Director of Residence Life.
So we kind of want to go over today a little bit about what to expect for now until the move-in process. So students have received their housing assignments and roommate information for the coming academic year. They also should have received some information about their move-in time slot and how to select their time slot for move-in. And so what they'll kind of expect on move-in day is all of our students will come to Tyler Haynes Commons during their move-in time slot, and they'll get checked in by our staff members and get their one card. And so they'll need their one card to access their residence hall as well as their room. So there'll be our staff in there to do some check-in, and then our lovely staff over in orientation will also be there to give them some information about orientation. And then we will also have a resource fair for parents available, so that way you can see a lot of our campus partners available and see what resources they have to offer across campus. But once students get their one card, then they are welcome to go to their room and begin their move-in process. So they'll go to their building and start moving in their belongings, and they will have that time to just set up their space and get ready for orientation.
Right on. Speaking of orientation, what a smooth transition to over here with Marianne and I and our team. We're going to share a screen really quickly just so you can kind of see what we are looking at from our perspective. So what you see here is our new student lookbook that we have posted to our website. Marianne, do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. Thank you, Jason. So here you'll see our orientation team for fall of 2026. We are also excited to welcome y'all to campus. Our orientation team is made up of phenomenal UR current students. So as you'll see, we have students across class years and across different disciplines and from so many different places, both in and outside of the United States. So you could go ahead and take a look at this lookbook and find someone on one of these pages who maybe has a similar interest to you or might be from the same hometown. And you can feel free to email them. Most of our emails will be our first name dot our last name at richmond.edu. But within your UR email, if you just type in someone first and last name, their email should populate. So between now and actual orientation, feel free to reach out to any of our advisors. I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. But otherwise, in a few weeks or in a week or so, you'll be receiving an email that actually has your specific orientation advisors. So they will be in contact with you soon. Each of you will be placed into a group with 2 orientation advisors who will guide you throughout our entire orientation process, which Jason will now take us through.
Absolutely. So just to give you a little overview of what some things you can expect to experience during our orientation programming. So our schedule of events for New Spider orientation, you will see here in this new student lookbook. We will start things off with some evening programming. Once you move in on Wednesday, August 19th, you'll have some time to relax, get your space set up, spend some more time with your families and supporters and anyone you've brought with you before going into our university welcome that starts at 7 p.m. After a university welcome, you will participate in what we call our new student walk and our class photo. All of this takes place in the evening, and it'll take a 2-hour chunk, is what you can expect. So use that keep that in mind whenever you're coming in. That's what your Wednesday will look like, and then you will be released to go to your residence hall. On Thursday, we have our first formal day of programming where we have a ton of information that we will be distributed to, but also lots of opportunities for you to connect with folks, including your orientation advisors. You're starting off the day with your orientation advisors and everyone in your orientation advisor group. You will participate in your first Well 100 class, which you will learn more about once you come here to campus. After your first Well 100 class, you will participate in what's called our sweet send off. You'll go to lunch with your families and supporters, and at this point, this will be a formal moment for you all to depart from whoever you brought with you if you are joined by guests, and you will continue into your orientation experience on your own with the help of your orientation advisors and the rest of the friends joining you at the semester. Following our sweet send off and lunch, we're going to go into our student development welcome, where you'll hear from plenty of folks from our student development division here at the university. After your student development welcome, we'll go into our residence hall meetings where you get to meet your RA and other folks living in your residence hall and on your floor. At the same time, we're also doing our transfer student social for our friends who are coming in, transferring from another institution. There are some supplemental activities that you can go to or attend in the evening time. But all of this information, like I said, is here in this lookbook. So feel free to give it a look to go see if any of those events will interest you. Our next day of orientation programming will be Friday, where we will once again meet with your orientation advisor groups, and you will participate in our Dean's Welcomes following that. So Deans Bowman and Deans Reynoso Giannone, you have heard from here today. You'll get to hear more from them and their teams in those sessions. So get excited. They have a really great group. Each of them do. We're excited for them to connect with you more during those sessions. In the afternoon, it's a bit of a choose your own adventure. We have a series of open houses that we have offices from across campus, departments, and just some really good community gathering opportunities that you can go and participate in should you feel so inclined. We recommend that you go. It's going to be a great time. We're going to speak into existence that the weather is going to be beautiful. And so it'll be a great opportunity for you to go and explore this campus that we hope you will enjoy calling home. After our Friday afternoon sessions, we will have our Friday evening required programming. So these will be our Safe Spiders programming, where you will hear more about Title IX, care, hazing, and alcohol and other drugs. These are formal presentations that you are required for you to participate in order for you to fully participate in your role as a student here at the University of Richmond. Your orientation advisors will give you some more information about what that looks like and kind of what those requirements will be. But just know this is one of our, probably the only event that if you are not going to make it to any of our programming, which we really hope that you do and you make it a priority, this is an event that you will be required absolutely to be in attendance at. Following that evening, however, we have what's called our Safe Spider Social, which is a lovely little gathering opportunity on our forum. We'll have food trucks, we'll have some beverages, we'll have an opportunity for you to just enjoy the evening together. Before hitting into our last day of orientation programming on Saturday, August 22nd. You all should have received some information a few weeks, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks ago, about excursions for spiders around town. If you decided to apply for one of those opportunities, you should know your assignment and kind of what your morning will look like on Saturday, August 22nd. If you decided not to apply for one of those opportunities, that's all right. We will see you for our closing ceremony in the Robbins Center from 2:30 to 3 p.m. This will be part of your formal close or your orientation experience for New Spider orientation, but there's plenty more that you will be asked to do and asked to attend and asked to explore going into Sunday right before classes start on Monday the 24th. That is a very overview of your orientation schedule and what that looks like for you. As we mentioned, this is all located in your lookbook that is posted on our website that Marianne will share here in just a moment. But coming out of our orientation, the fun doesn't stop there because we go into what's called our weeks of welcome. And I'm going to hand things off to Taylor to say a little bit more about that. Taylor?
Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor Hooksteden, and I am based over in the Center for Student Involvement. I serve as Assistant Director of Programming within that area on campus. And as part, I oversee our Weeks of Welcome initiative, as well as our Student Programming Board, which is called Spider Board. So Spider Board is a team of 25 student employees that create a large variety of programs throughout the fall and the spring semester. And so those programs actually are going to begin on Saturday, August 22nd. So right as things are kind of starting to come to close with orientation, we'll have that Saturday night, our Movie Under the Stars event. This is part of Spiderboard's larger Movie Under the Stars programming series. And that's going to take place at the Greek Theater that night from 8 to 10 p.m. And the film is going to be La La Land. And so we're really excited about that. There's going to be themed goodie bags. And then the next day, we are going to have our now annual last day of summer celebration over on the West Hampton Green. That's going to be on Sunday, August 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. And there's going to be inflatables and giveaways and live music. So I would definitely encourage you all to attend. It's a great way to celebrate that last evening before classes begin. That brings us into our Weeks of Welcome initiative. So Weeks of Welcome takes place during the first 4 weeks of the fall semester, and it includes 35 programs. And so these are sponsored by over 30 offices across campus. And actually, to kick things off, we're going to have the Living, Learning, and New Student Program team hosting our first day of classes tent. And so that's on the first day of classes, which is Monday, August 24th. And so that is going to serve as the first of a large series of events that are part of Weeks of Welcome. And just to name a few, but you can see the full listing online under the Weeks of Welcome portion of the university website. But some other events that this will include are Robin's Welcome Back Barbecue, a farmer's market, the chaplaincy's annual Pups and Pops event, a Welcome Back block party hosted by the Hub, the football home opener, Spider Fest, which is hosted by my department, the Center for Student Involvement, and will feature student orgs, actually members of each of our student orgs across campus, and that's over 175 registered student orgs. And so there'll be student leaders from each one. Definitely recommend going to Spider Fest. And that's on Thursday, September 3rd from 4 to 7 p.m. on the West Hampton Green. The LGBTQ plus breakfast social, there's going to be a community engagement fair as well as a study abroad fair. And those are just some of the programs. So those are all taking place during the first 4 weeks of the fall semester, beginning with the first day of classes. And then just to shout out some other Spiderboard programs. So Spiderboard programs happen throughout the full year, both in the fall semester and in the spring semester. We're going to have in September a Stuffle Plushie event, puppy yoga, and then we're also going to have further Movie Under the Stars events, some arts and craft night events, a drag night in collaboration with the Hub, and also this is a new event for Spiderboard, but a homecoming celebration with Webster Homecoming Week. So lots of things to look forward to, lots of ways to meet different students across campus in very informal ways. It's very common that students will go to a Weeks of Welcome event or Spiderboard event, not necessarily knowing people, and it's a great way to meet new people as you engage in a new activity. So, yeah, I'll turn it back over to Jason and Marianne.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Taylor. We see that folks have already started putting some questions in. I'm going to now open the floor for anything else as we keep coming in. I will name, we've had a couple of, or at least one other question answered so far. The question was, for the one quick process is the same for Endeavor participants too, or are there different processes for Endeavor participants? The answer is yes, it'll be the same. For your anyone who's participating, in Endeavor or a pre-orientation program, you're going to want to adhere to your pre-orientation program schedule that is also located on the New Spiders website. But the one card process will be the same. You will be receiving that in the same way that it'll be communicated for our formal New Spider orientation process as well. Another question that we have here, will we be sent emails about these events too? For one, all of these events are located in New Spider Lookbook that we just went through briefly. And so all the events that Taylor shared, as well as more, you can find in the Weeks of Welcome portion of our New Spider Lookbook. However, there will also be plenty of opportunities to receive information once you come here on campus. We have an amazing marketing team in our Center for Student Involvement office who make sure that we distribute information about these events and more as far as other things going on campus, as do our community partners who will also be having events going on at the start of the year and throughout the year as well.
And a
Um,
great way to stay up to date with what events are going on campus is checking your email. So every morning as a UR student, you'll receive an email called a Spider Bite. And that email outlines all of the events going on either that day or for the next week or upcoming days. And as a previous student, I know for a fact that those week of welcome events should be in Spider Bites. And there'll also be banners and posted all around campus. So you won't miss out.
right on. Thank you so much, Marianne. This next question asks for shipping dorm supplies to campus for move-in. What address do we use? My residence life and housing friends.
Yeah, so students can definitely ship items to campus. They'll want to follow up with the post office. I believe their post office information is in Bannerweb, but that should all be posted there, so that way they'll have their specific mailing instructions.
Another res life and housing question here. Someone was unable to complete the form to say what time they would like to arrive. Is there still time to complete that form, or how should they move forward?
So that time slot registration is still open. It will close, excuse me, on August 13th. And you can go in and make as many changes before August 13th that you need to. So you can certainly go in and select your time slot now.
And while we're waiting on some more questions to come in, we're throwing a lot of information at you. So I thought, why not just show you some more resources while we're at it? So I'm going to go ahead and share another lookbook we have. And Jason could please share this link in the chat as well so you all can keep this. But before you arrive at UR, one way to prepare yourself is just downloading some apps that will be necessary for you on campus. So I won't go through all of them here, but just quickly flipping through some apps that might be helpful for you to think about before you get to campus. And then other helpful resources. Something that I know can be a little bit stressful or challenging when you get to campus is trying to connect all of your devices to Wi-Fi. So I definitely recommend going and clicking on that link before you get to campus so you can download some of the software that you'll need to access our Wi-Fi. And other than that, there are just some other tips and tricks here that will help you just feel a little bit more acclimated, and just have some resources before you get to campus.
Thank you. This next question asks, will there be an orientation app with a daily schedule? There will not be an orientation app itself. However, the orientation schedule will be available through your orientation advisors on the website, in the lookbook, and in plenty of other formats for you to download and make personal to you and the way that you organize information for yourself, where you find best organized.
And to answer this next question, I think Jason put the link to that lookbook into the chat, but I'll also reply to your question there with the link.
And if for some reason the links aren't working for you, you can find all of this information on our New Spiders website, just newspiders.richmond.edu.
And with that, I'll share another slide that actually has a link where you can go to that website. So as Jason just mentioned, here is a QR code to reach our New Spider orientation website, which has the orientation schedules in a PDF format, as well as the New Spider lookbook, having it in more of like an app, not an app, but a browser format that you can have on your phone. And if we're wrapping up here, I just wanted to give all of our guests an opportunity to say anything else that might be on their minds as we're welcoming new students.
I think one thing that I would also mention from an information source, you see there the QR code for following on Instagram. A lot of the campus offices have Instagram sites, and those are also a great way to get information. I'll do a shameless plug for Richmond College, URVA College. One of the things I do is every morning I give a little Good Morning Spiders motivational talk, and we also have a lot of information about upcoming programs, not only from our office, but many others. So there's a lot of great resources out there on Instagram connected to the university.
Awesome. Thank you, Dean Bowman.
I'll second that, both for Richmond and for West Hampton, obviously. And also that reminds me that I'd like to mention the WILL program. So the WILL program is for any undergraduate student at the University of Richmond, and it's an intersectional social justice program where you get, it's co-curricular. So you get a minor in gender and sexuality studies, and you can have any kind of major otherwise, which is lovely. So for instance, you'll have, at any given moment, there'll be a business person, a chemistry person, a leadership person, and then, but with that interest together of the gender and sexuality studies, right, with our intersexual feminism. And in addition to that academic piece, it's a beautiful way to build community. We have community meetings for those who are in the WILL program. It's WILL, bold and italics, like, and this is what I always do, how will you change the world? That's what it's supposed to be about. So, and then we also have a speaker series that everybody can go to, whether or not you're in WILL. So you should have gotten information about that over the summer, and you'll get more when you get here, but wanted to put a plug in for that too.
Deans Bowman and Janoni, we do have a question in the chat that I feel like you would be great to answer for. What is the difference between the Richmond and West Hampton? Dean, welcome.
Huh. That's a good question. I don't know that there's a huge difference between what the content within the Dean's Welcome, but one of the things that I think you'll see is, to be honest, the personalities between the two of us. We're both very engaging individuals, but I think we approach life a little differently, wouldn't you say?
We are complementary with an E, and
There
also
you
with
go.
an I.
Yeah. But you're going to
Yeah,
get
it's
the
the
same
same material.
information.
Yeah,
You're going to
100%.
get information on what the colleges are about. You're going to get information on how we can help you. You're going to get information on some of our programs and celebrations, and you're going to get information on our conduct and academic honor systems. So you'll find out information about all of that stuff, all within an action-packed 1/2 hour. So there you go.
And it's really just an introduction, and an introduction to our community, an introduction to us, the people who are here for you. And really, again, all we just want to make sure that you get a sense that we are real humans, we are authentic, warm humans who do this job because we care so much about each of you and the community. And then you know that we exist. And then hopefully you're so excited from the Dean's Welcome that you come to the Dean's Open House. And you're welcome to go to both, and that's where you get your free college t-shirt and your ice cream or other frozen treat, depending on your dairy sensitivity, etc., and other
Yes.
things. So please, 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 we look forward to seeing you all the time, and especially that Friday.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And so to finish us out here, I'm just going to plug again, Dean Bowman, you said your Instagram, and I'll plug our Instagram as well. And then finally, our New Spider YouTube channel has all of our webinars from our entire webinar series this summer. And this webinar will be posted as well. So please feel free to check that out if you need any extra information.
And I think it's just helpful to add that if you have a question later, or for any reason you prefer not to ask it now, you can reach all of us by email or by calling our offices. And we're just happy to hear from you always.
Thank you all so much for joining us today in this webinar. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to our panelists. We look forward to welcoming you here in just a few short weeks. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon.
Bye.